Okay, so here we are prepping for the build. And what have we got ready for the build?
All you need for the frame is a nice stick of wood.
Okay.
This is 3/4 by 3/4 fir. This is 5mm plywood. We will make the sandwich plates out of this. And we need some vibration absorbing foam just to mount the controller, and some shish kebab sticks. And a few smaller pieces of wood for the battery holder.
Okay, and then what have you got over here that's
Well, so we're going to build a quad, so we have 4 ESCs, 4 motors, 4 wiffle balls for landing gear, which you either steal off little kids on the playground or in any sporting goods store. The remote, and here we have the FR Sky receiver hooked up to an APM. The APM is already flashed with the quad firmware. The ESCs are already calibrated.
okay. And the ESCs are soldered as well, is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
And this is the power distribution. So we just have 4 DIN connectors, female, and going to the battery, and with WAGO connectors in between. Now this same pattern I'm going to use on my octacopter, so that I can reuse these 2 pieces for that. And that's pretty much it. And of course you just need a lot of machine screws to mount the motors and hold the frame together.
And what do we have over here?
Super glue always helps, and the instructions so we know which motor has to turn which way and connects into which APM port. And we have a 3S and a 4S battery because we'll be lifting some weight today.
Okay, so let's go inside and look at the design. Okay, so let's look and see what kind of design you're going to have for the plates.
So we just use an octagon, 6 inches in diameter, and we'll just create 3 of those plates for the sandwich, and then the platform where the APM will rest on.
Okay.
So we'll just design that real quick because this is a scratch build. So we make that 6 by 6 inches. Position that nicely. I just need to make sure we have no fill on this. Okay, so there's our rectangle. Now the other part we just rotate 45 degrees, position it in the same spot. Okay, perfect. And now,
okay. So that's basically 2 6 by 6 inch squares.
Yeah. And now these are going to be the center lines. And now I'm going to do another rectangle for the arm, so that will help me to easily glue so that the arms there are 3/4 inch, so 0.75, and we just move that into place. The horizontal one, so that's 90 degrees. Okay, now we're ready.
Okay, are you going to mark the screw positions?
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I don't know. So if we say, let's see, 5 by... So that's 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's good. And now in the inner screw position. Let's see, 3 inches good. That's too big. Let's go with 2. So yeah, that looks good. So
okay, so basically those intersections of those squares with the lines will be where you'll be screwing, drilling the holes for the screw.
Yes, and let's make 3 copies.
Okay. Okay, and the printing out is going, so it's probably
so essentially one of the arms is going to be straight through, the other one will end here. And now we have all the plants.
Okay, so with those plans, are you ready to start?
Yes, I am.
Okay. 1 hour. Let's go. Okay, we've gone outside. You can see that took about 20 seconds. Andreas is busily cutting out the paper. I'm going to check and make sure the GoPro is doing okay and show the GoPro the time. Okay, I hope my ugly face isn't too terrifying here. Okay, we'll come back after something interesting is ready to happen. Okay, and now the stencils have been cut out, and
just
Andreas
super glue this on the board.
Okay. And any reason you like super glue for that?
It's just quick. One.
And is this any special kind of plywood?
It's just 5mm, and there's a thinner one, but I don't know what fraction of inches that was. This is a bit thicker than what I'm used to use. See? Just make sure the corners stay down. Okay. Now the arms are going to be 24 3/4. Yes. So then the other two arms, they're 12 inches each. Super glue. Let's try it enough. octagon. We make one more, and it doesn't have to be as accurate because that's just going to be the plate where the APM rests on. So not wasting any precious super glue. This one. Okay. Done with the saw. So we have 3 octagons and we have the arms.
Okay, 3 octagons. Okay, and now what are you doing with the arms and the octagons?
Well, one thing I should have done was to mark the middle of this guy. So it will go like this. Now if we did everything correct, it will be, yes, looks pretty good. So I need to mark the middle of this guy. So that was 24 3/4.
That'll be 12 3/8.
Something, my clamps.
Okay.
And to make it a bit more accurate. Perfect.
Okay, and what are you doing there?
Well, this is not even for structure. This is just to fix them in place.
Okay, so you just put some super glue on there?
Yeah, and if you have to repair this frame, you will still be able to pull out the arms because they only glue onto the paper more or less. So. Sandwich.
Okay, and why do you keep the paper on top and not put the paper in the middle of the sandwich?
Well, this now perfectly marks where I need to drill my holes and where the center is. So, next step is going to be drilling lots of holes.
Okay, so you've marked the spots where you're going to drill. you gonna put a bolt through the center, or what's the center for?
No, that's just to have a good spot to center my electronics and my center of gravity. And before I'm going to put in the bolts, I'm going to mark where the motors go and drill those holes too. We need to see how accurate we are right now. Very good. Okay, so this is essentially where the mounting point of the motor.
Okay.
And I can use this as a stencil to mark where to drill the holes. So I'll just use this the rest by eye. So I just use this to give me a uniform distance to the ends. Should be accurate enough.
Okay. And do you find any problems with only using the two bolts?
Oh no. Super strong. Okay. Now we're going to drill those holes as well. Hole for the landing gear. Unfortunately, it's too low. Use a bigger drill for that.
Okay. And this is for the landing gear,
Yeah.
otherwise known as the wiffle balls.
Yes.
And how do you attach the wiffle balls on?
The same thing that we use for attaching anything, which is zip ties.
Okay, zip ties. Apparently, the plastic industry's answer to a duct tape. Okay, so basically, you're just going to run bolts through all the holes that you've pre-drilled. And what size bolts do you usually use?
Are these number 10 or number 8? Who knows with these imperial screw sizes? They're equivalent to an M4 probably.
And why don't you use nice metric screws in this thing?
Because they cost one arm and one leg each. Here. It's a souvenir I shall bring back from vacation with me. Just washers to distribute the load better on the wood. And they're self-securing washers. go. So, done with the frame.
Okay, so that's frame, and we're at, let's see. Don't worry about breaking into this iPhone, that's my spare one. Okay, and we're at, we still got 37 minutes to go.
Uh-oh, that took longer than I thought. So the other thing we need to do real quick is the battery is going to mount at the bottom of this. And yeah, that's going to work.
And these are basically standoffs to keep the bolts from poking the battery, is that right?
Yeah, and we'll feed the Velcro through these openings.
Okay, so that's why you have the several small pieces instead of the two long pieces.
Yeah, the two long pieces will go on top of these. Just need to make sure it soaks through the paper because of a weak point. So there we have our battery holder. Now, just need to hurry up. Starting to mount the motors. Able to say, hey Mark, hand me that.
Yeah.
Gear.
Okay, so the motors are all on. Now attaching the landing gear.